In every city, on every street, there is someone carrying a dream that starts small, too small for others to notice, but a dream that refuses to die. This is the story of a young man named Omar, who learned that sometimes one idea can change everything if you're willing to pay the price. Omar was 27. He worked long hours at a small electronics shop fixing phones, cleaning screens, smiling at customers who barely looked at him. His salary was just enough to survive, never enough to grow. Every night, he returned to a tiny apartment where the lights flickered and the rent was always late. People told him to accept life as it was. "This is your reality," they said. "Don't dream too big." But Omar had other plans. At night, when the city slept, Omar spent hours sketching ideas in a worn notebook. Ideas for a product that could help people protect their phones more efficiently, a smart modular phone case that adjusted to different devices and situations. He didn't have investors. He didn't have experience. He only had an idea and a belief that it mattered. One evening, after another exhausting shift, Omar made a decision. He walked to the nearest printing shop and spent half his salary to print a prototype design. People laughed. "Who will buy this? This will never work." "You? A business owner?" But Omar ignored the noise. He visited local shops, pitched his idea, and left with nothing but polite rejections. Every door closed. Every no felt heavier than the last. Yet he kept going, because he knew something no one else understood. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. Weeks passed, money grew tight, and doubt crept in. But then, one morning, Omar received a message from a small tech retailer. They liked his idea. They wanted to see more. Omar rushed to prepare a physical prototype. He stayed awake for 2 nights straight, printing, cutting, adjusting, rebuilding. His hands shook, his eyes burned. But on the 3rd morning, he walked into the store with confidence. The owner tested the prototype. He stretched it, inspected it, then smiled. "We'll try it," he said. "We'll take 50 units." In that moment, Omar felt something he hadn't felt in years: hope. But the first order was only the beginning. Omar now faced logistics, materials, manufacturing, packaging, delivery, everything he had zero experience with. He made mistakes. Packages arrived late. Some products had defects. Customers complained. Omar felt overwhelmed. More than once, he considered quitting. But every time he thought about giving up, he remembered the years spent dreaming, waiting, wishing. He refused to go back to living life on autopilot. So he learned piece by piece. He studied online courses. He spoke to suppliers. He negotiated prices. He worked 14-hour days, often skipping meals just to save money. And, little by little, his small orders became bigger. His one product became 3. His brand started gaining recognition. He wasn't just building a business. He was building himself. 2 years later, Omar received an email that would change everything. A national electronics chain wanted to test his products in 30 stores. 30 stores. For a man who once couldn't afford to print a prototype, he arrived at their headquarters in a borrowed suit, hands sweating, heart racing. But the meeting went better than he expected. His designs impressed the entire panel. They offered him a contract that could transform his small operation into a national supplier. When Omar walked out of that building, he looked up at the sky, the same sky he had stared at from his broken apartment window. And for the first time in a long while, he allowed himself to smile. Today, Omar's products are sold in hundreds of stores across the country. He employs people who once stood exactly where he once stood. His story became a reminder not of what he achieved, but of what is possible. And his notebook, the old, worn notebook filled with sketches, sits framed in his office, not because the ideas were perfect, but because they were his beginning. Omar proved something we all need to hear. Success is not built in a moment. It is built in the moments when no one is watching. It is built through rejection, sacrifice, and persistence. And it always starts with one decision: the decision to try. So, wherever you are, whatever dream you carry, remember, your story is still being written. And, like Omar, you might be just one idea away from changing your life forever. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe to see you, the part.